Blueface and his mom, Karlissa Saffold, have one of the wildest mother-son relationships the internet has ever seen. But even for them, this one went left. So imagine this. You're scrolling, you see a clip or a post, and you hear Blueface basically telling his own mother, "We will never have sex. You're not my type." Like, bro. Most people would never even put those words in the same sentence as their mom, let alone say it where the whole world can see it. But instead of just laughing it off or calling it crazy and moving on, let's slow this down for a second. Because what looks like a ridiculous line on the surface is really a sign of something deeper. Boundaries, respect, family drama, and that blurry line between keeping it real and flat out disrespecting each other in public. First, let's be real. Nobody should have to clarify to their mom that they will never sleep with them. That's already understood in normal families. So when Blueface says something that extreme, he's not literally talking about anything physical. What he's really doing is using shock value to draw a line. He's saying, stop acting like you're one of my exes. Stop acting like you're in competition with the women in my life. Over time, we've seen a pattern with them. Arguments online, bad blood spilling into the public, comments about each other's partners, parenting, and personal choices. It's almost like instead of having a private mother-son relationship, they have a public storyline. And when that happens, feelings get hurt in 4K. From Blueface's side, he probably feels like, I'm grown, I got kids, I got my own life, my own relationships. Why is my mom always in the middle of it? When a parent is constantly reacting to who you date, talking about your partners, arguing with your baby mamas, it can start to feel less like concern and more like interference, especially when it plays out on live, in comments, in interviews, instead of behind closed doors. That's where that harsh line comes in. When he tells her we will never have sex, he's not trying to be literal. He's trying to embarrass her the same way he feels embarrassed. It's a way of saying, you're acting like somebody I used to mess with instead of my mom. It's ugly, but it's coming from frustration. Now on Karlissa's side, she probably sees it totally differently. In her mind, she might be thinking, I'm his mother. I changed his diapers. I've been around since before the fame, before the hit songs, before the drama. I'm going to say what I want about my son. A lot of parents feel like they have a permanent VIP pass into their child's life, no matter how old that child gets. So when she speaks on his relationships, his choices, or the people around him, she might see it as protecting him, speaking her truth, or not letting people use him. She might not even realize how it looks when she inserts herself into every situation, because from a mom's point of view, that's just what moms do. They worry, they talk, they criticize, they keep it real. The problem is, the internet is watching. Every little argument, every bitter comment, every emotional moment becomes content. And once you bring your family business online, people choose sides. Now, it's not just son versus mom. It's Team Blueface versus Team Karlissa. And strangers are in the comments weighing in like they live in the same house. And here's the crazy part. A lot of people can relate to this in a smaller way. Maybe your situation isn't viral, but you might have a parent who still treats you like you're 15 when you're grown. They comment on everything you do. They don't like who you date. They talk bad about your partner. They feel entitled to know your every move because that's my baby. And at a certain point, you're like, yo, I love you, but you got to back up a bit. On the flip side, some people relate to Karlissa. They look at their kids and think, you wouldn't even be here without me. I'm the one who sacrificed. I'm the one who went without. I'm going to say what I want. If I see something I don't like, I'm going to call it out. And from that angle, they feel disrespected when their kid claps back, especially in public. So what we're really seeing here isn't just a wild quote. It's a generational collision. You've got a son who grew up in the social media era, knows how to go viral, and uses shock value as a weapon. And you've got a mom who feels like she's being pushed aside in his life, but also uses the same internet to get her message out, to tell her side, to stay relevant in his storyline. That collision leads to over-the-top moments like this one. But let's ask the question that actually matters. Who's really winning here? Because from the outside, yeah, it's entertaining. People are making memes, posting reactions, going live, and talking about it like it's just another episode. But when the cameras are off, when the phones are flipped over, that's still a mother and a son. That's still real feelings, real resentment, real hurt. No matter who you think is right or wrong, there's something sad about a relationship getting to the point where a son talks to his mom like that, and a mom talks about her son like he's just some dude off the street. There's also a bigger message in this. Every family doesn't need to be content. Not every argument needs a live button. Not every disagreement needs a post. There are some conversations that are supposed to be had in a living room, not a comment section. Imagine if that same energy, that same passion was taken off social media and put into an actual sit down. No cameras, no followers, no clout. Just a son saying, "Ma, I feel like you're always in my business," and a mom saying, "I feel like you don't respect me anymore." And both trying to figure out where it went wrong. Would it fix everything overnight? Probably not. But it would at least be real. Right now, it feels like they're performing their pain instead of healing it. And that's something a lot of people do, even if they're not famous. Some people subtweet their family. Some people go to social media instead of going to the person they're mad at. They post memes instead of having uncomfortable conversations. It's all the same pattern, just with fewer followers watching. So when Blueface tells his mom, "We will never have sex," what we're really hearing is how far this dynamic has spiraled. That's not a normal sentence. That's the kind of thing you say when you're more focused on winning the internet moment than preserving the relationship. At the end of the day, a lot of us want the same thing for them. Less chaos, more healing. Less public embarrassment, more private conversations. Less who's right for the internet, more how do we fix this for real life. Whether you side more with Blueface or more with Karlissa, it's worth looking at your own life and asking, do I have any relationships that are starting to look like this? Are there lines being crossed, boundaries being ignored, or private issues being made public just for attention, sympathy, or validation? Because if you see that happening early, you can pull it back before it gets to this level, before you're saying wild, out-of-pocket things just to prove a point. Let me know in the comments how you see this situation. Do you think Blueface went too far with what he said? Do you feel like his mom crossed lines first? Or do you think both of them are just too comfortable turning their relationship into a show? Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more real, unfiltered commentary on the wildest stories on and off the internet, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Short Clips podcast.